What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Chopper Style bringing you a review for The Flash Season 7 Episode 9. So we find out that Alexa really is dead due to the hands of the Speed Force, and that Barry is definitely not on her side or its side, and he thinks of the bright idea to go back in time, and no one else is on Barry's side. And I'm even surprised that he wants to go back in time knowing what time travel does. Almost every single time Barry has time traveled, he has messed something up. People have died. I mean, when he saved his mom, he almost got trapped in a whole different timeline and was not able to fix it, gonna lose his powers. So I'm kind of like, it's kind of crazy to think that he would want to even think about going back in time after everything he's been through. And Iris definitely was not on board with this idea. She thinks it's a bad idea, which I don't blame her. But Barry was like, you know what? We disagree on this, but I'm still going to do what I want to do. I'm like, damn, he didn't even consider her idea at all. But he goes and gets Timeless Wells. I don't know how he found him, but hey, he's a Flash. He can do that, right? But he goes and gets Wells. It's so good to see him again. I love when Harrison Wells is on the screen, man. He's one of my favorite characters. But he gets him and he knows exactly what to do. He knows all about the time travel and all that. I mean, he can time travel. So he's talking about putting them in a bubble, a time bubble, so anything that they affect will not affect the timeline and they can make a change in and out. So that's kind of broken of an idea, and he made it seem seamless, but even then Cisco was just not on board because he knows too well what time travel can do. I mean, Cisco would be dead if Barry didn't time travel. I mean, so Cisco, I know he's thankful for that, but too many other things are messed up. And he doesn't want him to go back in time. But later on, he's like, you know what? You're my best friend, so I'm in on the idea. But while they're working together, Dion pops up. I'm like, oh shit. Dion is nothing to mess with. That dude is so powerful. And you can tell everyone was super scared of him. They didn't want to make no moves. See, Barry never met him before. Chester and Cisco are well aware of what he's capable of. And Chester even tells Flash, like, yo, this is Steel Force. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was about to put them in some type of time loop. I'm like, oh, damn, here we go. But Dion was pretty much telling Barry, like, yo, I like being me. And Barry, all he's thinking about is saving the host. But to me, it seems like the host, along with the Force, that is what makes the person, and they don't want to be different. That is who they are. At least for Dion, that's what he wants to be. He likes to be him. And we even see later on with Psyche, he likes being who he is. That's what he wants to be. I don't know about the Strength Force if she likes to be who she wants, but pretty much what they're trying to tell us is that these forces are not by a mistake. This is meant to happen. And these people are supposed to be here. But Barry, he just doesn't see it too well. So he goes into the past and tries to erase them from existence. And you see when he's trying to do that it's not just a Speed Force leaving the body. Their whole bodies are disappearing too. You can't just get rid of the Force. It's going to get rid of the whole person. But while Barry was sitting there looking at the forces being born, he started to feel that what he was getting rid of, it was even his family members. Like, he was birthing other speedsters, and he felt that. And I'm guessing that they're talking about Bart and Nora. And you even see in the footage there was purple lightning. That is Nora. Like, that's got to be Nora, right? And we even seen the speedster from the future. I forgot what season it was, but he had purple lightning as well too. So these forces, they're meant to be here, and Barry figures that out. And he chooses to not get rid of them at all and keeps them alive. And then we find out some crazy news that Iris has powers. How? I don't know. I don't know if Barry gave it to her, if it was from the Mirrorverse. I mean, there's something going on that we don't know about. They got to explain that. And her and Barry are able to give life back to Alexa. She is back alive. Like, what? How in the hell did they do that? Barry and Iris kind of refer themselves to parents to these forces. Like, it's like those are their kids. Like, what? Really? And it kind of makes sense Barry created them, so he should be able to stop them, maybe. But him and Joe had a very good conversation, and Joe was telling him how trying to be a father to Wally, how that was. And he said you can't change who they are. You can only help them be a better person by keep trying and never giving up. So we're going to see Barry try to talk some sense into these forces because they're not bad. The only person that seems bad is Psych. Like, he seems all the way jacked up. But even him, maybe Barry can find a way through him. But now Alexa is back alive. And I think that she's definitely going to be on Team Flash. And maybe they're going to try to get all the forces together to stop Nora, because Nora just seems all types of evil. We even see at the end of the episode that she goes and checks Dion. And Dion, he don't know who she is. But I don't know who's going to win that fight. I mean, Dion is pretty damn strong. I mean, with the Steel Force, can the Speed Force stop him? I mean, because we seen that Nora needed help defeating the Strength Force because she was too strong. And that's the reason why I think she came to Barry for help in the first place and came all beat up, because she tried to go to the Strength Force and try to beat her up or kill her. And she put mad hands to her, as you've seen, because she came to Barry jacked up, all bruised and bloody. And that's why she needed Barry's help to defeat her. And Barry did help her on accident. He wasn't trying to. But now that she's back alive, maybe Nora is going to get help. Maybe her and Dion are going to join forces, and it's two of them versus Barry and the Strength Force or something like that. Because if it's all of them against the Speed Force, I don't think she's going to be able to stop them if she couldn't even stop the Strength Force by herself. So we're going to have to wait and see on that part. But dude, we find news that Cisco is going to be leaving with his girl. Like, bro, really? Before this episode, I did hear news that Harrison Wells and Cisco are going to be leaving the show. And Wells, I'm okay with him because he's not in every single episode. It's okay if he plays cameos, even though I really do like him as a character and I would love for him to be a regular. But it's okay if he makes a couple appearances in a season. But Cisco, I just don't see how the Flash show is going to be the same without Cisco. It's just not. And I'm really hoping that this don't kill the Flash show. I mean, it'll be cool to see Cisco make cameos, but still, man, like, Cisco is just too big of a part to not be in the show. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how the show is going to work without Cisco. I mean, that's Barry's best friend. Like, that's the second closest thing to him. Like, how? But maybe they'll be able to, because they're going to be bringing in the kids. And when they bring in Bart Allen and Nora Allen, maybe then it won't be that big of a difference, because you're going to have two other important people. So I can see why Cisco could take a back seat, but still, man, I don't want to see him leave the show. He is by far the funniest character on the show. I love his character. Like, seeing him, you're going to get a laugh every single time. He's hilarious, not even trying to be funny. He's always funny. And I like him a lot better than Chester. Chester's cool, but you can see they brought him in as a replacement to Cisco. I like Chester, but he just ain't Cisco, man. It's going to be sad to see him leave. They better not kill him. Like, let him leave in peace, and he can still make cameos, because it's always going to be good to see him again. I'm still trying to figure out why Nora is the way she is, why she hates the other forces. It almost seemed like she's jealous, maybe, or she's trying to take their powers, because her lightning is all of the colors but the Steel Force. So the big question is, how do they stop the Speed Force without getting rid of Barry's powers? But also, if Barry created these forces, then what does he need Nora for? He should replace her as the main Speed Force, right? So we're going to have to see. But with Barry and Iris being able to just create forces, there's no need for Nora. So they're probably going to figure out a way to take her out and him still keep his speed. And maybe that's the key. And I wonder, I really hope that Iris gets some type of powers that she can use, so she doesn't have to always get saved by Barry and all that. Like, when Iris had speed, I loved it. I so much wish she kept her speed. I'm really hoping that Iris can get some type of power. I mean, because that would be so cool for Team Flash, for all of them to have powers, you know. But we'll have to wait and see. But this is it for my review. If you liked the video, could you please give me a like, comment, subscribe? Chopper Style out.